Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah. A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to HJN Flying with the Foam. And now, I suppose that this is a good time for me to get back into, well, the smaller side of Nerf itself, because I've already talked about quite a few smaller blasters out there, like the Char Shot, the Spinneret, the Gripper, and quite a few others, but there's probably one Elite Blaster that I may not have currently mentioned, maybe other than Aftersaught, but here in Flying with the Foam, it's time for the Bowstrike to strike again. And yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's simply put a small compact blaster with the traditional priming rod, priming technology, which is apparent on dozens of blasters. There were a lot that I've already talked about here that have that kind of tech, like the Barrel Strike and the Stock Shot, and, well, a majority of others, pretty much. But the Bowstrike here also does that. Except one of the main differences about this is that, for the most part, it actually is a lot like a crossbow, for the most part. It's essentially just a really, really small, compact, handheld crossbow with a flip-up sight on the top. And I'd actually consider this a transforming bow, because when you pull back on the priming handle, that's when the crossbars here pull out, and same thing with the flip-up sight. And then when you fire, they deploy back into, well, a compact position. They deploy outward when you pull back, and when you fire, they reset. So that way they can come back out just like that. I don't know, it kind of looks like a bat almost. But in all seriousness, this one actually is a pretty decent blaster. Mainly because its performance is alright, and the aesthetic of the crossbow sort of usage on a small pistol like this, it sort of makes it for an interesting combo of a small compact pistol with a crossbow blended in. And at the same time, it also utilizes a traditional priming rod in the back for priming the blaster itself. And then, of course, its trigger pull is a little heavy. Mainly so that the cross beams and the flip-up sight can shut down. So, you have yourself a little bit of strength in your finger, then you might be able to get the thing to fire correctly. That's probably just one of the cons that I could mention here, but when it's not firing, then, well, trigger pull actually doesn't do that bad. And also, the nice sort of, well, cutouts that they have here, these hollow pieces on the grip itself, as well as this little nib right here. Probably used for being able to hang up on something or be used for a sling adaptation, but I kind of like these cutouts here, these little triangles that sort of make it a little bit more lightweight and therefore easier to handle at once. And the color scheme on this is also pretty nice. The contrast of light gray and dark gray, orange and, well, cyan, sort of blue, I'd say it's a pretty good combo. If you don't remember when I've talked about blasters like the Rapid Red and all that, I do love color combinations of many different sorts. This one might be one of the best that I might have seen. And that's, well, just one of the many reasons why I picked this one up, which just so happens to be from a Kroger store. It's the same place that I also picked up the Wrathbolt and the Hot Shock and the Glow Shot. Of course, I've already talked about those at some point. So this is pretty much the last that came out of the batch from the Kroger store itself. And, well, that's pretty much it. I don't really know much else to say about it though, but I'd still give it a pretty good score for what it is. It's a one-shot blaster with the traditional priming rod tech, and it also has the uncanny resemblance of a handheld crossbow with the sort of aesthetic that is very similar to many other crossbows that I've already talked about here. So, I do consider the Bowstrike a win, being for how small it is, how easy it is to handle, and the type of, well, priming tech that it uses. So that's pretty much all I got to talk about here on HJN Flying with Foam, however, but I will certainly be back here with a lot more material to work with. But until that happens, if you want to see more go down on my channel, then make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.